What can we expect to see on the show?
Nothing. Shit to piss old white people off like you. Some people find everything offensive. Okay.
Set the oven to 350. Get a cookie sheet, but you gotta grease that hoe. Hot skillet, flour, bacon, grease. Slowly adding milk thickens to a masterpiece. Will the band pop the can? When your girl smells of cooking, she knows I'm the man. Gravy. Salt and pepper, that rude a taste. You can put it in your mouth, you can rub it on your face. Biscuits. Pull them out the oven, they hot. Don't gotta wait too long, don't gotta wait a lot. Gravy. It's lovely, thick white cream. When she saw it on her plate, had to join the team. Biscuits. Get ready. It's time to start the show. Boom, and we're live. Got Manny Dias today as a guest. We got a lot to get into. Let me see. I'm like, oh,
why?
No.
To me, like I can't wait till I get gray hair. I can't wait for wrinkles.
I found my first gray hair.
I got one in my beard.
I've
I'm
had
like,
a few in my.
I want
I've had a
more.
couple in my beard, but I found one. I was looking in the mirrors. It was on this side, and I have one right here.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was like, what is that? And I pulled it, and I was like, oh my God, it's a gray curly hair. Son of a bitch.
I can't wait, dude.
Yeah, dude. I've always said I would, if I had to choose between going bald and getting gray hair, give me gray hair any day. It's not even like a choice.
I'm lucky I got like a head for a bald. Like I can cut it bald.
Yeah,
I've done it, but
I
like
can see
some
that.
people like
No, I don't. I shaved my head one time for football in high school, and I remember John Luke. We later became friends. We weren't friends at the time. We didn't know each other. And later, when we became friends, he was like, when you shaved your head, I was scared of you. He was like, you kind of looked like a skinhead, like a Nazi. I was like, yeah, I don't have a head that's good for being shaved. I look like a crazy person when I shave my head.
Yeah, I probably look like one of them. Oh yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Do you ever laugh when people call tractors the wrong name? Like, I was watching a video, and there was an excavator, and they're like, look at this digger. I was like, who didn't have a dad? How did you, not even that, like, how did your mom not give you, like, the tractor book growing up?
Yeah.
You should know.
I'm pretty sure it's on the box, too, when they're a kid.
You can always tell when people aren't country, too, because they call trucks tractor trailers. City folk will call a semi-truck a tractor trailer. Nobody in the country calls it a tractor trailer.
Yeah, not here. I think in Australia they call them that. I don't know why.
Well, I know they don't here because
we
use tractors so much, so it has another meaning. But maybe if you're living in a city, I don't know why people in the Central Valley don't call them tractor trailers. They call them trucks, semi-trucks, 18-wheeler.
Diesel. I just call them diesel.
Nobody says 18-wheeler anymore.
No, you can't. You used to be able to run triples here in California. You can't do that no more.
Well, you don't want to ruin the roads, you asshole.
What roads? It's like our roads are already ruined. Then they're building a fucking rail
down the pristine California Highway 99.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. And they're building that fucking rail. Like,
yeah, dude.
Why don't you guys just build another freeway?
Yeah,
just for trucks.
Exactly. Seriously, that would have been a novel idea. Did you see that they're building a train from Las Vegas to LA so that all of the hookers and strippers can save that $90 ticket they have to pay every weekend to go make money?
Makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I mean, that's business.
Dude,
San Francisco to wherever they're going?
Yeah.
No.
The north of the valley to the south of the valley. How many people are even doing that? I've heard of people going up and down 99 for work, but it's like, what chunk of the population is that? And then what chunk of the population is going to shift from cars to train?
Waste.
Excuse me.
The train to LA, then hookers can get back and forth.
Yeah.
Anyone can, like, that's business. You can have parking lots on both sides.
Yeah, and I'm like thinking of, like, as a person in the Central Valley, would I rather drive to Las Vegas or drive to LA and train to Vegas? Like, I'm going to drive to Vegas, but people in LA are going to use it.
Yeah, it used to be $80 from Fresno to LA.
Yeah.
Like, you can do what you need to, but the whole work thing back and forth from San Francisco to get out just because it's expensive, that's not my problem.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. And then we have to stare at all this infrastructure since I was, 19 years old? How long have they been doing the rail? Has it been 10 years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We're in our early 20s when they started it. It's locked. Back to Latinos. You're not a very musical person. I'm a very musical person. I feel like, like, obviously I'm not alone in this, but I'm always like walking around singing stuff in my head. And I feel like I always see that with Latinos a lot too. They're like whistling along. Like this dude was building a fence one time at our house, and he was like whistling while he was building the fence. And it was like one of the coolest old school whistles. It was like Andy Griffith whistling. And I always hear them, running down the streets. I feel like I always hear Latino people singing a lot, and I've always related to that, being partially Latino myself. Well, Hispanic, I guess, but if you want to get ethnic.
The grito.
Yeah, one of those is solid. Two of them, I'm like turning my head, and on the third one, I'm like, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah, I've heard that all my life. I love it.
Yeah, dude. It's fun though when you can do it well. They respect you. It's nice. It's like, that's what's up.
Over at the shop, like, they sing all day. I love it.
Yeah.
I sing with them. Like,
Yeah.
I whistle. None of them really whistle there. I'm the only one that really whistles, but I love
funny.
Mexican music.
Yeah, me too.
Chelino Sanchez is my favorite.
Who?
Chelino Sanchez.
Okay, I'll have to look into that one. Dude, there was this sick-ass Mexican song that I was listening to on YouTube like 2 years ago, and I was playing it so much, and then I just stopped listening to it for a while, and then I couldn't remember the name, and I've been searching for that fucking song for so long. Yeah, all I know is that the video of the guys dancing on the beach, and there's a bunch of hot chicks. Oh my God.
That Chelino Sanchez guy, the cartel killed him live. They handed him a death note when he was singing live at a concert, and then killed him right after that song, Alma and the Morado.
Why? Just to like show their strength, or like because he was
like,
talking against them, or
a lot of the music for the Mexican stuff back then was like backed by like certain cartels. They sang about transporting drugs, and so like if you're saying things that they didn't agree with, you had to not. But he didn't listen, or someone took over a different cartel, and the new cartel was like no more, and he kept doing it.
So he was like they were like connected with the cartel the same way that Frank Sinatra was like connected with the mob.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see him live, and he keeps singing. He like wipes his head, looks around, asks for a drink, and he just keeps singing.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was my favorite, Chelino.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm very musical, so I relate to that. I'll always be singing songs. This dude was singing a song today when I got a burrito, and he was singing. What was he singing? Mi corazón. He goes, Mi corazón te quiere, which I think means my heart loved you. But
I literally just pull staples. Like I feel indebted to them. Like I owe them my life. I feel they make my gloves. They. Really? Little Tony would pick me up and throw me on his shoulder and put me in the truck, take me to go lunch. They took me to baseball games. Like,
which Tony's? Do I know these guys?
No, I barely met him right after my accident. Well, I met him before and almost caught his house on fire, but
How'd you do that?
I had a smudge pot, and like I made it myself and blah blah blah. But like when you added oil to it, you had to do it a certain way, and my buddy was like not listening, and he was filling it up, and it like backfired and it shot up, and it was right under like a pine tree.
Shit.
Yeah, I almost caught his house on fire.
Pine trees are flammable as fuck.
Oh, yeah. So I met him after my accident because like I bought gloves, and the rubber kept ripping off of them. I was like, man, these suck. And I went over there, and I've been there ever since. I just pull staples, and
that's tight.
they buy my lunch. Like, I don't get paid. They pay for my lunch. They pay for my they'll buy my chew. I hate that. Like, that's my own problem. But they'll pay for that.
That's
my
tight.
Beer, chew, whatever. Like, they take care of it.
Yeah.
I love it there.
That's what's up. Yeah, I always drove by there and seen it. And then one day I seen your truck there, and I was like, oh, Manning's there.
Yeah, I'm going to sell my truck now, too.
Yeah.
I'll get a Lincoln, I think.
Nice. Yeah, I was at the car dealership today. Got the fucking runaround.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, for sure. I was looking at this Kia Soul, the hamster car.
Oh no.
And it was all right. I really wanted to get this Toyota RAV4 that they had, but they wanted 30 grand for the Toyota, and then they wanted 21 for the Kia. But the dude was, I was like, well, the 21 is too much. I was hoping he'd come down more, like to 17 or 18. And they were like, and then his manager comes out and he's like, well, we actually, if you look online, we would have it listed for 23,000, and we already came down. And I'm like, I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, but
never heard that one before. And then I was gonna trade in a car. This is where I almost blew up. I was gonna trade in a Buick LaCrosse. And while I'm talking with the salesman, he's like, my manager go out and appraise your car. I was like, okay, it's dirty, but okay. And they offered me $500. I was like, I just fucking put tires on that car. The tires are worth more than $500.
People like that car is worth way more. It's an older vehicle,
Yeah.
but that's not the
It's
newer
a 2012
vehicles.
Buick LaCrosse with
The newer vehicles
180,000
suck.
miles.
The newer vehicles suck.
Yeah.
They don't hold up like they do.
Yeah, and
Like that'll hold up longer.
dude, so
At
at
least
the end of it,
$5,000.
I'm like telling this guy, I was like, no, it's not gonna work for me. So I'll think about it. But then another manager comes out and he's like, hey, I'm a blah 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 manager, and I just wanted to know what we could do to make this sale today. And I was like, well, you could come down to, let's say 18.5. I feel like that's a solid number. I was like, I feel like that car is worth anywhere from 18 to 20,000, and we can both you can make money and I can get out. And then that's when he hit me with the 500 about trading in my car. And so I'm like stewing with that in my head. And he's like, yeah, we were at 23. We wanted to come down to 21. So, we're going to hold at that. And I was like, okay, well, that's where it is for me then. And he's like, well, is that why you don't want to make the sale today? It's just the base price. What if I had dropped your monthly payment to 200? It saved you money that way. And I'm like, well, you're not saving me money. You're just prolonging my payment. But
that drives me nuts when they say that.
yeah, and so I was like, no, man, that's not it. And he's like, so it's the base. He did it like 3 times asking me. I was like, yeah, it's the base price is why I don't want it. And then he was like, all right. And I was like, yeah, so and also, who appraised my car? Who's the guy that appraised my car? And he was like, my manager. And I was like, so $500, you're serious about that? Because I feel insulted.
Oh yeah.
And he was like,
you're right.
well, no, we're not trying to insult you or anything. And I was like, I already talked to your salesman, and he's telling me that you're not going to resell the car on the lot because it's too old for you to do that, and you're just going to wholesale the car. And I know for a fact you're going to sell it for at least $2,000. Somebody's going to get $2,000 for that car at least. I know I could sell it for $3,000 or $4,000 right fucking now.
I think you get more for it, honestly.
The Kelly Blue Book is $4,000 to $7,000 on it.
Oh, really?
So yeah, I could get at least $4,000.
Yeah. That's what's crazy about the dealership. They do that whole like, oh, I'll lower your payment. You're not lowering my payment. You're just dragging it out longer.
Mm-hmm. And you're actually costing me more with interest.
In the long run.
So you haven't
You're
saved
pay
me
more.
money. Yeah, you actually have made me spend more money with the bank.
Yeah, that's like the same with the houses. They get them 30-year loans. People don't realize you're doubling you're paying 2 houses. You got to do 15. You can't 30. Yeah, I get it, but
30
you're
years.
buying them a whole nother house.
Dude, 30 years is insane. It's like, are you gonna even be alive?
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, I never looked at it like that.
Enchilada sauce is Mexican gravy.
Yeah, I like El Pato. They make a spicy one too. That's hella good on enchiladas.
I'm pretty sure enchilada sauce is technically a roux. Like the proper way to make it, it is considered like a roux, which is what gravy is. It's a
flour?
roux. I think so. I don't know.
Not an enchilada sauce. No.
No?
Nah.
Okay, then I'm wrong. then it's not Mexican gravy.
It's pretty much gravy, though, to me.
It's fire.
I take it as gravy.
Italians call pasta sauce gravy.
Really?
American Italians do.
Oh.
I don't think Italians do it. Italians. Hello, welcome to Italians. Would you you want a booth or a table?
That's a good one.
Shit. Where did that one? I don't even remember how I thought of that one. Did I tell you about the dude that asked me for donations?
No.
Dude, I'm sitting outside the gym and I'm going through like a transitionary period in my life where I'm like trying to find a new job and I'm not getting paid enough money for my old job. And I'm like, oh shit, I got these bills coming up. I got this amount of money to spend. You know how you go through that? Everyone goes through that shit. Sometimes you're cruising and sometimes you're like, yeah. And so I'm sitting about to go in the gym and it's like hot. I'm just like stressed. I'm already annoyed. And I'm like looking through my phone at my bills and I'm like racking my brain. I'm like, what's another place that I can apply for a job that I haven't thought of yet? And then this dude walks up to my car. He's like, excuse me, sir. I'm asking for donations for blah, 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 blah. And I've been doing it for 20, 30 years. And I let him do his whole spiel. And I was like, honestly, dude, I don't have any money. I was like, literally, I have no money to give you. And my sunglasses were sitting right in front of my steering wheel on my dash. And he's like, all right, man, all right. And he's going to walk away. And he stops and he's like, hey, what kind of sunglasses are those? And I was like, they're from Walmart. And then he laughed at me and walked away. I was like, fuck you, dude.
Brokey.
Yeah. If you like, as if I was about to say they're Spy or they're Oakley, what are you going to do then? You're going to be like, you got Oakleys, you don't got $5. Was he like about to pull that with me?
Yeah, he was setting you up.
I think he was.
Either he was going to call you a brokey or a richie.
Yeah, and then he laughed at me for being broke. And I'm like, bitch, you're walking around asking for donations.
You're broke, homie.
Yeah. Hating ass bitch.
Yeah, he was setting you up.
Yeah, and I don't even need to tell you his ethnicity because I don't see the world through that lens. I couldn't even tell what race he was.
To me, that's the craziest thing that people fight over that.
Yeah.
Like, they make their whole life about that. Anyways, yeah.
But anyway,
hard
how bad are
that,
you
but I don't know if that's
not
like
looking at hot
one.
chicks in public? This is a very
Quinta
beautiful
means who?
woman-centered episode. You're pretty good at it?
I'm
terrible.
Look, I'm not who I used to be. I literally, I know what you're talking about, but yeah, it was hard.
Yeah,
I would look at everything now.
I think I've gotten worse. Like,
oh yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, and the more I work out too, the more, I mean, for lack of a better word, like more virile or like horny I get.
Oh
you
yeah,
know, where I'm like, I'm thinking about it so much more because I'm like, oh yeah, I look hot now. I worked out for an hour.
What's up?
I did the stationary bike, bitch, while I watched CNN. Oh my God. I hate it, dude. The bank of TVs. I'm always like listening to something on my phone and I drift up and I stare at CNN or like Fox News or MSNBC that's on there. And it's funny to watch them all spin their own narrative of like literally the same story, or like watch Fox News will be talking about like how much of a piece of shit Joe Biden is, and they never say a word about it on CNN, you know, and
yeah,
it's hilarious.
I quit watching the news like 6 years ago.
I wish I could remember the example, but there was a good one of, like they were reporting the same story at the same time, and the screens were right next to each other, and it's like it was literally like I don't remember the exact story, but one of them is like Fox News. Look at how stupid and how much of a piece of shit Joe Biden is, and the other one is like CNN. Look at how great Joe Biden was at this thing he did. I think it was something about like when that train derailment was.
Oh,
and like
man.
Fox News was like saying, why isn't he going to visit? And CNN was like, whoa, it's not in his itinerary. It's like,
he went to Ukraine.
It was really silly. It was so dumb. It's like,
that's why I quit watching the news. Do you see how crazy that is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been watching the news with my parents. I watch the local news because I love to see what's happening locally. And I love Kim Stevens and Kopi Soteropoulos.
Oh, yeah.
Kopi is my dude, and Kim is the queen. I love Kim. I love her coffee cups.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
I'll have to watch it. What is it? What channel?
26. Great day. Fox 26.
I just got rid of everything.
Nice.
Like, I don't even have, like, DirecTV, Dish.
Really?
I'm crazy, dude. I'm crazy.
What the hell was I talking about? Anyways,
The hot
chicks,
women,
hot
yeah.
chicks in public. Yeah, even look at ugly chicks. Like, it's
Oh, I
not even
do.
hot chicks. It's like, I'm just like looking at women. I look at men too, though, but not like in a sexual way. I'll be like looking at dudes, like looking how strong a guy is, or like how weak a guy is, or like how tall. But yeah, with women, obviously it's a problem because you're like not supposed to do it. But
Always wear your glasses.
yeah, glasses really help. I'm loving the renaissance of hippie clothing on women where they're wearing these high-waisted shorts with their midsections exposed, because I found something out in 8th grade that somehow for me, a woman's belly button, to see that exposed is like more triggering for me than to just see her vagina. Like, seriously. I remember that in I'll never even forget it, was like imprinted on me, where this girl was like, she like lifted her shirt up and was showing another girl her stomach, and I was just like standing there, and I was like, I didn't even realize how creepy I was being until they looked up and they were like, what? She put her shirt down. She was like,
oh, my bad,
yeah,
my bad.
I was like, oh, I don't even know what happened right now. I'm going to walk away. But yeah, years later, I was like, damn, belly buttons are so sexy. Oh my God.
And the people that wear those high-waisted ones, looks like you're wearing a diaper.
Yeah, and so like there's a whole renaissance again going through women's clothing. They're dressing like they did in the 60s and 70s again, like baggy jeans and the high-waisted shorts and stuff like that. And have you ever heard of, I've seen women on the news talking about how, you know, complaining about like that they have to wear tight jeans and that why can't we wear baggy jeans and stuff? Have you ever heard women say that?
No.
I've heard it said.
Women like to show off their kids. I don't
Yeah.
know.
And also, I've never heard a man say that for sure. I've never heard a dude be like, what's with this chick? Why is she wearing the baggy jeans? You know, I have heard a woman say it about another woman when Maritza, do you remember Maritza Ayala?
Yeah, she works at ECU.
Oh, really?
I see her like probably every other week. I go there quite a bit for the depositing checks and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, Cecily Todd.
And
Anyway,
at
Cecily Todd was walking across the quad in high school, and Maritza was sitting next to me. She's like, what is with that bitch? Why does she wear such baggy jeans? And I was literally like, I think it's because she's comfortable. I literally said that to her, and she was like, what a bitch. And I was like, dude, that's the perpetuation of the entire thing that if you're like they are trying to put it on men. We're like, this is why we have to dress like this, is because that's how men like it, with high heels and stuff like that. It's like
y'all women do that to yourself.
You're all riding your own wave that you're pushing yourself. And,
you women judge yourselves.
Yeah.
Against yourselves and your own peers instead of just living in it and being done with it, and don't judge.
There's a new song. I'm always talking to you about songs. There's a new song, and it's by a chick, and she's like, I know Victoria's Secret. She was made up by a dude. And it makes me laugh so hard.
Man,
Dude,
I hate that song.
It makes me laugh so hard because so many thoughts go through my head when I hear a line like that, you know, because again, sure, Victoria's Secret was started by a man, but who's buying the products? Who kept that business alive?
Yeah,
women are the consumers of the product, but then they claim that the reason they buy it is because men like it so much. So it's men's fault that they have to buy it to compete in the sexual marketplace, is what they're saying. And it was all invented by a man.
I don't buy it. So
well, here's the thing: is that women are wearing baggy jeans now. It's not a problem for anybody. I think everybody's open to it.
Yeah, do what you want.
Yeah.
But the Victoria's Secret, I hate that song so much.
Dude, that song's so
crazy. It's like,
yeah, Devin.
Who wears it?
I had Devin on the last episode, and I told her about the new song that this chick has, where it's like, because girls are players too.
Oh, dude.
And I was explaining to her how, like, do you remember, I don't know if it ever happened to you, but like people would be picking on you and they'd be like, oh, you're gross, you're fat, you're ugly. And then someone stands up and they're like, leave him alone. Just because he's gross and fat and ugly, he's cool too. And that's literally like, that's what that song, the whole backing of that song is that.
Oh, dude.
It's hilarious. But yeah, we went into that one, and then
that's so crazy. They think it's not the same.
Yeah. Rihanna mispronounces the word umbrella in her song, and nobody cares. Say
What do you mean?
Say the word.
Umbrella.
Okay. You can be my umbrella. Umbrella. You can be
actually,
my umbrella.
I love that song.
That's a good song.
That's probably, you're dead on.
I like Rihanna, but she has made me feel bad. She body shamed me and also triggered me with one of her songs where she says, come on, rude boy, is you big enough? And first of all, are you talking about the size of my penis? Because I'm triggered. Secondly, then she says, come on, can you get it up? And obviously I can, because it's Rihanna. Who can't get it up with Rihanna? And then what's the last part that she says? I don't know. But that song made me feel inadequate. And Rihanna needs to answer for making me feel bad. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to the last episode. I told a story about this hot chick that was a friend of Devin and ours. Her name's Apple. And she was at a party at my house. And she was like sitting on my counter. And I was like hella back in that night.
I don't like Apple one bit.
Really? You know her? She's fine. Anyways, she's harmless. Anyways, she
you don't know her like I do. I do not like her.
She jumped down off the counter and like credit card swiped my crotch to like feel how the size of my penis, and then she walked away with like a smile. But we never hooked up, so I was like, damn, wasn't big enough.
Yeah. I hate her.
That's funny. We don't have to expose people.
That's fine with me. I've talked to her.
Yeah.
We cool. It's just I mean, obviously I did bad things. You know, I was with a girl that was friends with her, and I get it. I was a piece of shit back then. Yeah, oh yeah.
And she's got all kinds of tattoos and stuff.
Yeah,
we're talking about the same person. Yeah.
Yeah, she used to be like friends with my ex-wife.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
She has a face like Rachel McAdams to speak of a person. She has like the eyes just like her and like the dimples on her cheeks. That's why I was like, damn, she's kind of hot.
Apple?
Yeah. I think she's hot.
Not to me. Obviously, I have my own bias against her already.
Dude, I have some awesome Reddit clips on here. We should have been set up for Reddit. But there was this girl who goes pee on the slot machine. She's like,
oh, just pissing herself there?
Just sitting at the slot machine. The caption that people put on there was like that she didn't want to lose her spot, and I was like, no, she's drunk and is just pissing everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Damn, we had to do a bunch of casino seats. Disgusting.
You had to what? What do you mean?
We'd
reupholstered them? Yeah.
Disgusting,
oh
dude.
My God.
There was mold in some of them.
That's crazy too, because for mold to grow there is only like 2 or 3 things that happened. Is like people drop food down there and they got moldy, or the worst one, which is people's butt sweat seeps down there and the moisture just turned into mold. And it's literally like, you know how they start with one fucking spore to make a beer? That's like what that is. It started as someone's butt.
Yeah.
And then it's mold. Like the genetics of that mold is some old lady's butt from the Central Valley.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with like the gym. The gym isn't that bad. We don't get like mold on any of their stuff. We do a lot of gym equipment too. Like,
dude, I got fucking pink eye from the first 2 weeks I went to the gym because
really?
I wasn't washing my hands when I would leave there, for one thing. Huge mistake.
Yeah.
And I must have like wiped my eye or something.
Someone's farting on the equipment.
Yeah. Oh my God. Burpee.
Oh yeah.
And I have a custody trial tomorrow, so I think the things are gonna set up differently, and that'll be a little easier. Because like every job that I'm looking at is like they want you to work the weekends and shit, and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot different when you got a kid.
Yeah, and I have her like split through the week. So I was thinking, like, what is your like? I was thinking about having it set up like every other week. I don't know how does your custody set up right now?
My situation is a little different. I only get her 3 every other weekend out of the month.
Okay.
But like it's a lot different now. You know, I get her way more. Older. But like when I was working, like I wasn't even allowed to work weekends. I was only allowed to. I used to work weekends all the time. She took me to court, and then I couldn't work weekends, so I quit my job, found another job where I can work 5/12s.
Okay.
And then like same thing, she'd like take me back to court over some stupid like money or
Yeah.
yeah. I would try and do like every other weekend for you. Like you're gonna have or
Yeah, I
don't
was
know,
thinking
I don't know
about.
if you wanna
I
get
was thinking about switching. No, it's all good. I was just thinking about switching to having it week on, week off, 50-50 custody, and so right now I have more custody than she does.
What are you at, like 70?
Yeah, it's like 70-30. Like I have her. Yeah,
I
know,
get
I've been
like,
thinking about
but
that.
50-50,
I've been
get them
thinking about
between them
that.
both. Like that's fine. But
Yeah.
like, I just,
'Cause I don't
when
want-
it gets to the age of school, that's when it's really gonna matter. And I would,
That's what I was thinking about. Yeah.
yeah, ooh, that's a tough one. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're good at 50-50 right now. They're little
Food for
right now.
thought.
They're little right now, so it's 50-50 I would do.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta do it for my job. Like, figure it out what to do for a job that would be the easiest.
I've been debating on starting a daycare.
Hell yeah, yeah. My sister said that I should do that. She's like, you should just get licensed and take care of yourself. And I was like,
Everything's a tax write-off. Your whole house is a tax write-off now. Everything.
that is sick. That's wild.
Your payment, your electricity, your gas, your upgrades, everything.
That's tight.
I've really debated on it because like
Yeah.
Steven's wife, like she's only got 2 more kids that are not in school, and 2 years will be all in school. So I was like, oh man, I can start a daycare with her, like
Yeah.
easy money.
And you know what
I
else
love
too
kids
is
now.
it's like a real such a flooded market as far as people who need daycare. So you could like be really picky and like not pick shitty kids.
Exactly.
So it's like
Oh,
easier
yeah.
on you.
Oh yeah, I would. Yeah, you're dead
Yeah.
right. I would definitely make sure I got the right kids I wanted. I'm not making my job harder.
Yeah.
You have kids and you're looking for daycare. Guess what? Figure it out somewhere else. I'm making it easy on me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I could do daddy daycare for sure. But
Lando's daycare.
and yeah, like the person that I'm sending my kid to, she's licensed for 14 kids and she's full pretty much all year. I think maybe she has 12 right now, but she's making over 120 grand a year off that. But she's also has her daughter and someone else employed, so she's paying them out of it. So I don't know what she's really making.
I bet she's clearing 100.
I think she is.
She ain't paying her for kid on the books.
It's 150 a week, and times 14 kids. You know, minus the holidays and shit. So let's say just be nice and say 45 weeks. I'll do it on my calculator real quick.
I'm a little high for that one.
So we'll go real quick. 45 times, that's weeks, $150. That's 6,700 times 14 kids. 94 grand. So that's less than I thought it would be. But with the tax incentives, like her husband is working, so
Yeah, because okay, what are your payment a month? Say it's $2,000 a month for your house. That's 100% write off.
how much are you even getting taxed on your income for 90 grand?
She probably only clears like 20 a year, I bet.
Yeah, after she pays her daughter and the other chick. Woof.
That's not bad. 'Cause I mean, like you're not like you're what you're doing instead of paying or
3, 5,
yeah,
6.
you better block that. Give me a couple beeps in between, so it's not like complete. No, but that's what I was trying to do. It's the same. Like what you're doing is you're paying your house off before the government instead of like because if you don't long form, you can't write off your interest on your house. You can't write off like on any of that. So they take that as a hit towards your income, and then he's probably making good money, and then just a quick little way to wash, you know.
You know what I always think about is the military and how people are always like, yeah, you know, you sign up with the military, they take care of you. You could learn how to do stuff. You have to pay for your college and blah, blah, blah. But then every single person that I meet in the military who's not like a fucking Navy SEAL or something, they're not like all of the Navy SEALs and like the special teams guys, they're like driving lifted trucks and shit. Like almost all of them, you know, you always see them with a nice $50,000-$60,000 truck. But most people that I see in the military that I've met who are like been in it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, they're broke as fuck. They have no fucking money.
Yeah.
They spent the check that they signed up with as a down payment on a Mustang or a Camaro or a Challenger. Every single one of them gets that. And then the rest of their money, I assume, is spent on paying that car. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because they don't pay for rent.
That's
they don't
what I
pay
say.
for
Their
food,
housing
they don't
and
pay for
everything.
electricity.
They're out drinking and eating and fucking and being crazy like college kids, just spending their money like crazy. And then they get out and they're like,
college.
Yeah, it is. It really is. And then what really sucks is how they take care of them when you're like a hurt veteran. Like, all you hear, like, this guy Tom Santos in Riverdale, he's a mechanic, a friend of ours, and just a lifelong friend. Grew up on the same street and shit. And yeah, he was cool. He's so cool. He's so fucking smart. Anyways, he was a veteran, and he would tell me all the time about how, he's just like waiting so long for a doctor's appointment. And then I heard like the horror stories of, like people who live in like the American Samoa states and other like regions that aren't actual states. And it's like 2-3 years before they can get an appointment or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? How is it you served in the military, but they're telling you you can't get a doctor's appointment for, I don't even believe 2 or 3 years. Like, that's insane. That's so insane.
No, I know a couple guys that come by the shop and they tell me the same stuff. Like,
yeah, and it's just like people hear it.
Steve was like on a 4-year waiting list for something.
Wow. Yeah, and so like I hear that shit and I'm like, oh wow, I feel so activated by this. But then it's not like in the news. It's not like, there's a lot of stuff so you can donate to and things you can do for sure to get involved and like help with guys. But then it's like, damn, that sucks. That's like the selling point for our fucking military, and then they just kind of
dump you off.
Dump you.
Yeah, I feel like they should really do more about that, but I'm not out there advocating for it, so I can't bitch.
Neither am I. Like, Jon Stewart is the only one out there actually advocating for people.
Damn, maybe I'll look into that. I like that. Like, I love talking to those guys in the shop, military guys that come in. I love it.
Did you see that clip of Jon Stewart? He was talking to some chick who's like in charge of military spending or some bullshit, and he was asking her, he was like, don't you think it's kind of criminal that the military left all this equipment and all these places, like rattling off numbers that are like, your mouth is just left open when you hear these numbers of like how much money is just disappeared. It's just gone. And she's like, well, it's not necessary. She like tries to explain it away. And when you're listening to it, you're like, yo, you're guilty.
Yeah. And they won't admit to it.
You're so guilty. Oh my God. Speaking of guilty shit, I can't believe I almost forgot about this. Go ahead. Yeah.
What's crazy to me is they were bitching about Trump and saying, oh, we're going to war. No war, please. We don't want to go to war. Biden's in office and they're screaming for war.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Isn't that, to me, that's like so crazy. Like, y'all didn't want it and now you do.
Yeah.
And then you could have gave that military equipment to Ukraine instead of leaving it where it was at.
Yeah, and I just thought of this too.
Terrible
as far as
military moves.
Money getting spent in our actions in other countries and stuff.
All money gets wasted. All
and I was telling my parents, I was like, when I was a kid, the narrative that I was hearing was, look at Saddam Hussein. He's such a bad guy. We have to go. Look at what he's doing to this country. We have to go over there with our power and help them. Now it's look at what's happening in Ukraine. What Russia's doing to Ukraine is so horrible. We need to go there and help them. We need to spend money and send weapons and money over there to help these people. And I'm like, hey, have you met Mexico? Because I'm pretty sure they have like bodies hanging from the freeway. As an example.
Oh, yeah.
People skinned. Like I've seen like skinned bodies, and they're missing like an arm and a leg and a head, and they're hanging by the only arm that's left, and there's like one leg, and it's because they did something to the cartel. Maybe they could have even been innocent.
Right.
But anyways, yeah, that should be the title of this episode. Hey, have you met Mexico?
Yeah.
Because damn, if there was a country that we could help out with money and our power. That would also help us because they're right next door, and every problem that they have is a problem that we have.
You want to know my solution?
Yeah.
Get all the get all the shit out of China and all those other fucking countries. Fuck them. Move all that shit to Mexico. Move all the factories there. You don't have to worry about shipping shit. It's right there. You can fix the economy.
Mm-hmm.
Let the cartels get involved.
Yeah.
If they'll get off the drugs, yo, homie, look, you guys got to own John Deere now.
Yeah. Well, they'd
had
no
be
problem
all about it. They'd be like, clean money? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The Democrats had no problem legitimizing the Taliban to run Afghanistan. So let's just do that with the cartel in Mexico. Fuck it. Let's just let them run it now. That's not what I'm saying.
Maybe
But
I'm
no,
a little too far on that.
I am
but
saying,
still, it can fix something.
I know you are onto something, though, because it's like, okay, it's the same thing as guns in America, where it's like this problem of cartels in Mexico is so big and there's so much money behind it that you're not going to stop it. You're not going to, like, stop it.
The ball's
so
rolling.
maybe there's a way we could pick the worst of them and be like, hey, how do we get you on our side? You can keep doing your drugs. You can keep doing whatever. You have to stop murdering everyone. You have to redistribute a little bit of that wealth into the towns. And we'll figure this out. You know, we'll have like a J.G. Boswell setup where you could like J.G. Boswell farmed all this fucking land that the state let him, you know, get all these great deals and stuff on, and so many stories about collecting land with these guys like Vidovich and Boswell and all these huge names that you hear over and over again.
I kind of know Boswell.
And like set up one of these cartel guys like that. Here's all the land, and you know what, dude, you're still going to be at the head of it, but you got to be legit now.
Well, yeah, just I mean, you can legalize drugs and kind of just let that be, but like I would like you can probably get them into factories. Like you don't need all those factories over there. If we're not even like really that close with them, then why are we even doing business?
Exactly.
Just move it all over here. You don't have to worry about shipping. It's right here. Everyone's flooding the border. Well, guess what? Go home. We got
Mexico
work at home.
Make Mexico the new China. Make Mexico. Everyone said make America great again. You're wrong. Make Mexico the new China. Let's fucking go down there with all of our American money. Let's pave some fucking roads. Let's build some factories, and let's set up massive industry down there.
I wouldn't even do that.
Tell the cartel, like, here, you guys give us half your money, and then you can be bought into this, and or we can just shoot all of you in the fucking face.
Yeah,
how about that?
That'll probably happen. What I would do is I'd make the cartel, look, no one goes to jail. All your money has to go, and you guys pave the roads. You guys build the factories. It's a wash. No one goes to jail, but we will guarantee work here.
Yeah, and then show them the tank footage from the Gulf War and be like, "Is that what you want?"
Yeah, we'll show you Gaddafi, homie.
And then they're like showing us videos of their tanks. They're
yeah.
like, "Bring it, bitch!" We literally have an army.
My biggest thing with that is like the cartel is way more violent than America. Like not America, they're whatever, but like
it's
fighting
bad.
a violent place. So you got to figure out the easiest way to avoid the violence of it, because if you want to go to war with them, they will go to war.
Yeah, no doubt. And no doubt. It's like a too big of a problem to end. The drug problem is too big. There's too much money behind all these guys. It's the same thing for the auto industry. It's like, we're not going to stop. You weren't going to shut down Chevrolet and Ford. You know what you're going to do? Have them make electric cars. And that's the solution that we're going to get with the cartel. It's like, you're not going to stop them from you're not going to stop gas from being a thing, because these companies have too much money invested in it. So you need to make electricity viable for them to make money off of, because the only way people do good things really in this world, I hate to break it to everyone who'd been lied to by Disney, but the only way true love isn't real, and also the only I'm kidding.
No, true love ain't
the
real.
only way people actually helps people is if there's money in it. You know?
Oh yeah. Welcome to capitalism.
Yeah.
There's
and
no way.
I'm fine with that. I don't even have a problem with that, because we're not going to church here.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's the only place that people help people for no goddamn reason. It's because they're so far up their own ass that they think they're going to get rewarded for it later in life.
Mm-hmm. I'm not big in electricity. I hate it. Like, I don't believe in none of that Tesla and all that bullshit. No.
And
I don't believe in any of it. Electric vehicles, like, I get it. You're trying to do something, but you're really just trading one mineral for another. So, like, how much more efficient is it? Oh, it's not more efficient.
I watched a great Smithsonian hour-long thing on, of course, they lead into it with, like, you know, like why you shouldn't be using fuel and all the problems with the climate and stuff. And then they're like, this is a way that we helped a small village on this island where they're burning trash for fuel. And so to stop them from doing that, we retrofitted this giant, like a grain tanker boat, like they would haul grain across the ocean and shit.
Okay.
And one of those giant barges, and they refitted that with a bunch of diesel generators that are burning diesel hooked to a giant cable that goes to the island, and that's how they're powering it now. And they're like patting themselves on the back for that. And meanwhile, we're not supposed to have a diesel truck here in California.
Yeah.
And I explained to you the Philippines thing too, where it was like the all of the trash, not all of the trash, but the biggest chunk of trash in the ocean is from the Philippines.
I don't know about that, dude.
Absolutely.
I highly believe China does way worse.
No, it's not China. It's the Philippines, because
I don't believe any of that.
China has a whole coastline, but the Philippines is a giant collection of islands. And not only are they a giant,
with the land mass and
so
the
every
amount
time
of population,
it's like way more trash getting to the ocean. But not only that, there's like massive industries of trash recycling in the Philippines. There's some pretty crazy footage about what's going on in the Philippines.
It's not that big of a land mass.
No, but
you know what I mean? Like,
but
they can really fit that much trash on little islands.
There's a graph on the internet that claims the Philippines are responsible for 60% of the trash in the ocean.
I don't believe it though. Like, there's way bigger mass of people in other places. Like, I get you can ship trash all to one place, but that doesn't mean it. If it came from another place and it got dumped off there, did it really come from the Philippines then? Like, that's the way I look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how they came up with it, but it was compelling to me. Anyways, I was just really upset because I like plastic straws.
Yeah, well, I'm cool with that. To me, it's crazy. These vehicles that are not as efficient. They're not as efficient as they used to be. And to me, like, the whole goal of like innovating and being progressive is to be efficiency. Yeah. And like, these diesels aren't as efficient at all. They're junk. They don't last. DEF and all that shit. All it is urea in the tank.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is crystallizing the smoke in the tailpipe, so it backs up the pipe, which adds back pressure to a motor. And then you guys want to put EGRs on there, which then you're putting CO2 back into a motor that needs oxygen to run.
Don't even get my dad started on EGRs.
No, he from the old school.
He had a nice F-250 that I think. How many times did you have to replace the AGR on that red truck you got, Dad?
Was it 6.0? EGR cool. The EGR cooler or the intercooler?
The intercooler, he's saying.
When I worked at Jordan's, all the time.
Yeah. So it was letting water leak into the heads and shit from the block somehow.
Oh yeah, they have an EGR cooler that's attached to the turbo because the turbo's cooled, and it just gets backed up, and then it causes the turbo to lose coolant, and then the heads blow off because it's too small of a block for that much pressure. They should have went with like the 7.3. It should have stayed at a bigger block. Too much compression ratio, and then it just blows the heads off.
But then so did the 7.3 had an EGR on it, right? No, it didn't. So what was the whole reason they put an EGR at all? Is it an emission thing? Yeah. So
no Dodge had an EGR till 2006.
No shit, I didn't know.
I had that's why I bought my 2006. I did not want to deal with that.
Yeah.
Or 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, your Dodge Dually doesn't have to do it yet, yeah.
DPF.
Watch these sorry motherfuckers come out with a law that you have to retrofit things before 2012 to put a fucking DEF system on them or something.
That's what they did. That's what they did with the big rigs.
Yeah, I know. That's what they did with the big rigs. Yeah, I know. They're yeah.
10 years ago, that conversion kit was $7,500 a muffler, and I don't know what they are. I don't think you can even get them right now because they're made in China.
Really?
And probably stealing though. They probably got good metal in that.
Yeah, these sorry bastards stealing everyone's catalytic converters.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Freaking took a truck that was worth 20,000 and made it worth 2,000
Exactly.
when they outdate the 2006 and prior. Those things weren't worth crap. There were so many of them on the market.
Catalytic converters are a nationwide thing. It's not just in certain states, right? All cars have that in, like,
Just they'll have caps on them, but it's
smog
only
is
California.
the thing that's only California, right? Or certain states.
They have inspections, right?
You don't have to get your vehicle smogged.
When I transferred title to them, I never even had to take them into nothing.
And also, Montana has this awesome thing where you can
Can I register my vehicles in your name?
you can buy permanent plates, so you pay like a certain amount, and then you don't buy
Really?
registration no more.
You pay 1.5 times what your annual deal was after 10 years.
So if you've
If it's 10 years, you pay 1.5 times, and then it's no more.
so once you've owned, is the vehicle has to be 10 years old, or you have to own it? Okay, so if the vehicle's 10 years old, you can pay 1.5 times what the annual rate would be,
Annual premium on the 10th year is you pay 1.5 times of that.
and then you don't have to pay no more. And it's so weird. It's almost like when they're not letting you do that, they're just stealing money from you.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy when you hear other states
Every
like
year.
Oregon. Oregon has no income tax. Yeah, they don't have smog in Montana either.
Diesel inspection
Yeah.
Yep. No diesel inspection.
unless they're commercial. So you can yank all the crap off of them. Put
Yeah,
I
dude.
remember in Oklahoma, all they had.
all this stuff.
Everyone
Yeah.
in Wyoming had the sickest diesel trucks.
yeah.
Everyone had stacks. Everyone was dumping smoke.
I remember in Oklahoma, it was the same way. But the only thing there is they just had an inspection, like, oh, make sure
Yeah.
your brakes are good, bullshit like that. Like, hell yeah, I'm cool with
Which
that.
is fine. Yeah, keep, you know.
Based on weight.
Oh,
They made the cars do that too. Because I worked at Firestone, they'd be like, okay, this got to like. I don't think it was like you had to do it if you got pulled over by police and be like, hey, you need to inspect this car, and then to come in, we fill out paperwork, and that was that.
So California now, though, based on weight, is since everything has a weight classification on it, lightweight, heavyweight,
Oh, it does.
from half ton to 3/4 ton, 1 ton pickups, all the way through the big rigs.
Right.
So you have to run your gross vehicle weight rating on there, and if you get caught with a, on a 1 ton pickup hauling more than what you said the rating was, or even like on a 2-axle truck, I could put the gross vehicle weight rating at 20,000, but if I got caught hauling an 80,000-pound load, then they wrap your ass.
Man, I don't want to make it easy here.
Nope.
I'm glad I'm not here.
Yeah,
You got any property for next to you for sale?
For sale.
the dude that was trying to sell me a car today used to do like house. He had a bunch of tattoos. He used to like do. He said he did roofs and shit in Florida, and then he moved here and was trying to do it, and he couldn't make any money. Because I asked him, I was like, "How'd you get into selling cars?" And he was like, "It was too much. It was too expensive to keep running his business in California the same way he ran it
yeah.
in Florida." I wonder why.
That's what I told him. Like, probably bleed out what I said earlier about what I'm doing, but like that's why I'm doing that. It's like,
Yeah. Well, it's like,
I don't feel they should. How would they know how to spend my money better than I do?
yeah.
I'm wanting to make more money, so I know I'm going to put it back to make more money. You guys aren't going to make more money with my money.
You're not confident in the way the government can redistribute people's money to help everyone?
No, I'm dead on. No, I don't believe it.
I read this great.
That's like me telling you how to spend your money.
Exactly.
Would you trust me?
Yeah, one of my favorite quotes. Stop counting other people's money. Seriously.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's this guy who made some huge chemical sale, and he doesn't make more than like $90,000 a year, and he made a sale that made him a commission of $700,000. And he was like,
Whoa.
I'm never going to make a sale like this again in my life. I worked a year to make this sale, and I'm going to be taxed like someone who makes millions of dollars, but I don't make millions of dollars. And I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, that's the way it works. Uncle Sam doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care.
You want
He's
to hear
got
a
to
good
get
one?
his money.
You want to hear? You want to hear a good one? That the Bidens are a fucking bunch of liars.